It is Nonfiction November. And every year I say that I'm going to read more nonfiction, and then it's Nonfiction November again, and I ain't read but one or two. Hi friends, welcome back to Shelbey in the Book Club. I am Shelbey Monet, and in today's video I have a stack of nonfiction recommendations for you. I know some people have the goal of reading more, like I do myself, and they are a little apprehensive. So some of these I've read already, some of these I plan to read over the next few months. Hopefully majority of them I will read in the month of November, but we'll see. One thing that I will say before we get started, something that can make nonfiction a little bit easier for you is immersive reading it. So read it while you are listening to the audiobook. So keep that in mind, because that's something that helps me a ton when I am reading nonfiction. And take your time. You can't read nonfiction the same way that you read fiction, okay, girl? And that doesn't mean that you are unsmart. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It's just different formats, different genres require a different level of attention and care. Okay? Okay. If you would like to support me or the book club, all the links for these books will be down below in the underneath bar. It is called the underneath bar because it is where? Underneath the video. Get it, got it good. There will be Amazon links if that's where you like to shop. There will be bookshop links if that's where you like to shop. There will be a Liberal FM link if that is where you like to shop. I got you covered in all the departments, okay? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into it for real this time. Okay, we're going to start with the book that I want to read as soon as possible, which is The Conjuring of America. This is a story about the history of magic, voodoo, and all those different things, and different just things that we don't talk about because people are so afraid of anything other than the religion that they know, when this is, you know, hoodoo, voodoo, magic in the Black culture is a culmination of what was brought over from Africa and the religions that were given to us once we got here. So I'm really excited to read this, especially because I just read It's Me They Follow by Janine Cook, I believe her name is. I'll put the book on the screen somewhere. And there is a heavy, you know, spiritual aspect to it that I think this would explain a lot of those aspects to people. So I'm gonna read it and see if that correlation is correct. Next, this is the messiest nonfiction book I've read in a very long time. Careless People. This is a cautionary tale of power, greed, and loss of idealism. Sarah Wynne Williams worked for Facebook under Mark Zuckerberg. I call him Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not even going to explain why I call him Mark Zuckerberg. If you know that joke, comment down below. If you know where that reference is from, make a comment, okay? So, basically, Mark Zuckerberg is a... I'm trying not to cuss. He has words that I'm not going to say in case you got children in the room with you, but this is a wild story. Some of the things that she says, it's very evident that Facebook was... They just didn't care about the impact that the company as a whole has on politics and on society, in the way that people are using it, like on this larger level. And I think outside of Mark Zuckerberg being a jerk, I think that happens when you don't have a diversity on your team, right? I think initially he was a nerd that happened into this really big business, right? And when you get into big business, you need different sectors, right? You need different things. And it was a lot. I will say kudos to Sarah, because she pitched a job that didn't exist and got it, okay? It took a little while, but she got it. And I know that's right, girl. Firstborn Girls. This is a phenomenal memoir. Bernice L. McFadden is an award-winning author. Earlier this year, a few months ago, I read Sugar by her. She is phenomenal. Her life story is great. I think it's very inspiring. But what I really love is how she intertwines real life with events throughout history and how they connect to the things that happened to her. It reminded me of how When Crack Was King is written. That's one of my favorite nonfiction books. I raved about that when I read it. I think that is another book. I'll put the picture on the screen. I think that is something that you absolutely should read, because there's so much history. But what's his name? Donovan X. Ramsey. Sorry. What Donovan did very well is he would tell us the story of a person and their history with the drug from whatever vantage point, right? Whether it's a user, the child of a user, a drug dealer, whatever. And then he would tell us the laws and the things that were happening in politics that connect to the decisions that maybe that person made, how they got access to things, so on and so forth. This does something a little similar. So this was really, really good. Braiding Sweetgrass. I've heard nothing but great things about this book. I want to read more books by Indigenous authors. This I want to read. I'm probably going to have to immersive read this one and slowly take my time getting through it to annotate and take notes and things like that. But Robin is a botanist. And she intertwines science with what her indigenous teachings and things, she intertwines them. At least that's my understanding of this synopsis. Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. If you've been with the book club for a long time, you know we read this a few years ago. And I absolutely love this book. It is the anniversary. And Shonda Rhimes decided to say yes to a whole bunch of things, right? To kind of get herself out of her comfort zone and a rut that she was in. And it forced her to have this balance over her life. She just said yes to stuff and went where those things took her. And I think that's something we probably all could learn from. Again, the 10-year anniversary was this year, and she was out and about and on book tour and all of that, which I thought was really cool. I'd love to see another book from her. Then Vice President Kamala Harris, her memoir. I want to read this before I read her latest book, 107 Days. I started this, and after the election was very, very upset, so I did not finish it. But I will be reading it this year, this November. And yeah, then I'll go into 107 Days. And yeah, I'm super excited about this. I've heard great things about it. She's just cool. She's mad cool. If she ever writes another book and somebody, the people that be, I'm available to interview her, okay? Next, I have Cultish. This I got, one, because my friend read it, but two, I love cults. I just am so fascinated by what, like, how did you end up in a cult, girl? Call your dad. It's an emergency. How does that happen and all of that? And this is a deep dive into it. Again, another book that I started, but you know, y'all know I be starting stuff and forgetting that I've got obligations throughout the rest of the month of things that I need to read for content or book club or podcast or whatever. So that's high up on my list for November. And then last but certainly not least, we have Black Genius. This is by Trey Johnson. Hey friend, hey. This is an exploration in why Black people are not considered in the conversation of genius, when we obviously are the blueprint for all the things that are great. And I just love this exploration, and I think it's something that everybody should read. There are a bunch of different essays that cover a bunch of different things: respectability, politics, comic books, all sorts of stuff. It's small, but it's mighty. I think this is a must read for this year. So if you made it this far in the video, let me know in the comments which one of these are you going to read or have you read already. And without further ado, if no one told you today, I love you. You're kind, you're smart, you are important, if to no one else, to me. Bye, friends. you.